Hello, welcome to another microbiology practical. What the practical I'm demonstrating today is testing the effectiveness of different household disinfectants. So I have a couple of different household disinfectants here. For the avoidance of doubt, YouTube, I am not sponsored to promote these disinfectants. And the idea is we will be seeing which is better at killing bacteria. Again, if we were doing this in college as a whole class practical, we'd do more than 2 disinfectants and we'd do different bacteria and we would check to see which was the best disinfectant for killing different bacteria. Okay, we're just going to do one bacterium today, however. We're going to do M. luteus, or we would if I hadn't succeeded in losing the culture. Just wait there, just wait, I'll be back. I'm back. I thought I'd laid out everything so neatly as well that I had no bacteria. Here they are. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do is a spread plate of this culture of the bacterium Micrococcus luteus. So I've demonstrated carrying out spread plates before, so I will just label my plate with my name, the bacterium and the date in the usual way. This time I also need to put which disinfectant I'm testing. Okay, there we go. There are my plates. So just the normal method of spreading bacteria on a plate, which I've demonstrated to you already in my video on basic techniques. Sterile pipette, 0.1 millilitres of bacterial culture. In each plate. Probably not perfect practice, but I think since I'm using the same bacteria, I'll use the same pipette and save time. I'm sure my old microbiology lecturers would scream at me. But okay, so I will put my 0.1 mils of bacterial culture on the plate. I will spread them with a sterile spreader. Again, same culture, no difference, so although it's not probably best practice, I'll use the same spreader for both and save single-use plastics. Make sure I don't touch it to anything else between. I know it will slightly invalidate the volume in each case, but given that they're living microorganisms, so important. Okay, so I've spread my plates, and obviously if I just did that and I taped them up now, when I came back we'd have what we call a bacterial lawn, which means it would just be bacteria city, just like thick goo everywhere. So what I need to do now is add my 2 disinfectants. I've placed a bit of each disinfectant in a watch glass so I can get at it easily. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to soak a disc. These discs, this container of discs has been through the autoclave, so discs should be sterile, not that it will matter a lot when I'm going to dip them in disinfectant, but just to avoid bringing in any other bacteria than the ones I'm testing. Obviously I need to ensure that these forceps are sterile. So, blue flame to sterilise metal. You won't make forceps red hot, so don't try, you'll only burn yourself. But hold them in the flame, and then again obviously hold them next to a safety flame and talk among yourselves while we let them cool down enough, because you'll know if you haven't let them cool down enough because the paper will catch fire. Right, let's grab a paper disc. It's not on fire. This tells me I've done it correctly. I will dip it in the first disinfectant I will try to read upside down, which is the correct plate for this disinfectant. Place my disinfectant disc in the centre of the plate, tap it down gently with the forceps, and then of course, because I've been poking about in a plate full of bacteria, I need to put my forceps in the flame again. So that's basically the idea. I'll just do the same for the other one. I've just sterilised my forceps, so that should be fine. Okay, the other disinfectant. When you're doing this sort of thing, make sure you put your discs of whatever they are, antibiotic or disinfectant or whatever, as central as you can in the plate. Because the idea is, obviously, the disinfectants will kill the bacteria growing round them. And the better the disinfectant is, the bigger the area around the disc where bacteria are killed. If you put your disc right over one side, you might actually find they kill bacteria all the way off the edge of the plate. Yeah, that's no good. So, okay, that's fairly straightforward. If you've tapped them down properly, when you take the plate and turn them upside down, they shouldn't fall off. Win. They didn't fall off. That one didn't. And win again. Right, if you haven't tapped them down properly, that's the point where your discs fall off onto the lid. So that is testing the disinfectants. Here, as they say, are some that I prepared earlier. So, Savlon is obviously quite effective. All the yellow goo, obviously, is thick bacteria growing. And you can see that there is an area around here where no bacteria have grown. They've been killed. I will now seek a ruler, which I didn't prepare earlier. Never mind. What one should do now is measure the closest point that the bacteria are growing to the disc. See, so in this case it's about 2.1 centimetres, 21 millimetres. This area where they haven't grown is referred to as a zone of inhibition. And obviously, yeah, it's not completely circular, it never is. What you would typically record is the closest that bacteria are able to grow to the disinfectant disc. Now, that's Savlon, which is obviously supposed to be a household disinfectant. The other thing I tried was TCP, which is actually an antiseptic rather than a disinfectant, and it doesn't really kill bacteria much at all. They're pretty much growing right up to the disc. I would say there's about a 1 millimetre zone of inhibition. Strangely, there's also a bit here where they haven't grown too well, but that could just be my inefficient spreading. But the bacteria have grown right up to the disc, to about 1 millimetre from it, indicating obviously that TCP, as you would expect, is not as deadly to bacteria as Savlon, because TCP is an antiseptic, not a disinfectant. Okay, so that's disinfectant testing. As I say, normally get loads of repeats done, different disinfectants, different bacteria, but I've just shown you the basic method. Thank you. Where's the off button? There it is.